Well, I thought I'd do this video while I can still be recognized as me. I was based in Kunsan, Korea, and here we are on a deployment in Kadena, Japan, of our F-16 versus their F-15s.
By the way, this is Okinawa, Japan, Kadena Air Base. Look at this, people driving on the wrong side of the road. Yep.
Now this is on base, and you can see even on base they drive on the wrong side of the road.
That's pretty amazing. So far we haven't been able to get in any major trouble yet.
Yeah, we haven't, man. It scares me. Very nice base. Very nice.
So we'll head from base housing over to the flight line, and there we'll go to the squadron where we'll do our briefings, and then we'll go out to the jets and fly these sorties. It's a real beautiful base here, and as you'll see as we get up to the corner, we have to help each other with this driving on the left side of the road.
Yeah, I'd like
Can I get over the right, Jay?
Yeah.
Now you can start seeing the tab V's where the planes are sitting in the hangars right there, and our squadron's over here coming up here shortly.
Turn in here. Here? Whoa, man, there's a dude behind me. You're on the wrong side, dude.
That quickly we turned onto the wrong side of the road.
Straight, just get out.
I hope they don't get to beak about me recording their airplanes.
Now we're coming up on F-15s, that's their airplanes out here, and you can tell with the twin tails, twin engines, those are the F-15s.
Yeah, man, you better be hiding that camera if you see anyone drive by.
Oh, I know it.
And straight ahead are our airplanes with the single tail, single engines. And my buddy Roscoe, as you heard there, was a little afraid what the SPs would do if they saw me filming our airplanes. And these are the vehicles that'll drive us out to our airplanes.
And Mom, this is the jet I'll be flying.
I was single throughout my Air Force career, and I was making this video for my mother.
My mother's gonna love this.
So this crew chief is the crew chief of this airplane here, and what he's doing is just making sure my shoulder harnesses are connected into the airplane, and once I do that, then he'll get on down. I just chatting it up with him and seeing how he's doing.
Easy on JJ, that's his favorite plane.
Whose favorite plane?
And his buddy, the other crew chief, is giving him grief about the airplane that he likes. Now the airplanes you see taking off right now are heading out to the area, and everybody has timing on when they go to different places. And this is my wingman right here. Great guy, great wingman, great pilot. We knew we were going to go out. He was a very seasoned wingman. I was a very seasoned flight lead, and we're going out there, and we're going to fight 2 V2, so 2 F-16s, which we have, versus 2 F-15s. Now we're about to start our starting sequence, and guys, this is timed down to the second, literally to the second. Both of our airplanes will start within a second of each other. Everything out here is extremely precise in its timing. The crew chief is in a safe area, and we're talking to each other, and we're about to start the aircraft. Those two open doors are the inlet and the outlet on the jet fuel starter, which is a small jet engine that starts. And that little jet engine spins up the big jet engine. And you can see the flight controls start to move here, and that's due to them getting hydraulic pressure, and they're going to go to their neutral position. And there's my wingman, and you can see his aircraft is starting just like mine is. This is an extremely dangerous job for the crew chief. He can be sucked up into the intake. He could be hit with a flight control. So he has definitely a pattern where he walks to keep himself out of harm's way. And I don't move anything in that aircraft unless I know where he is. Now right now I'm going to check the secondary fuel controller, and you can watch that nozzle close down. And guys, it's just like a hose when you put your thumb over a hose, how it speeds up. This is the exact same thing. This nozzle is so sophisticated. It is a converging, diverging nozzle. And right there, as it opens back up, it releases so much pressure. And on the ground here, in the normal configuration, that nozzle will be open. Now, once I push the power up to takeoff power, that nozzle closes down. And the only time it opens back up is when I light the afterburner. Then it opens fully. Now I'm going to test my speed brakes, and there they are right there closing. I just opened them up, and I'm telling you, those things are extremely effective. And right now, as you can watch the flight controls, I've told the computer to test all the flight controls, and it goes through a sequence, and it moves the flight controls in all kinds of different ways, and it's just testing all the hydraulic actuators, testing everything about it. And once it's good to go, it gives me a green light that the flight controls are good, and I know that that's a good system. Now most of my systems are checked, and now I'm just seeing, you can see I'm putting my hand up to the canopy, and I'm moving my seat up, and that puts you in the correct design eye height for the HUD. And as my systems are good, I'm sitting there talking to the crew chief, and once the alignment is done on the inertial navigation system, or INS, once that thing gets aligned, then we'll be ready to taxi out and go. And like I said, everything is in here timed. I'm checking all the systems. I'm getting all my GPS coordinates and coordinates out there programmed in there. I'm telling it what weapons I have. And as you can see, the airplane has no external fuel tanks. All it has on it is a couple of missiles. And this is an air-to-air beast. Once you start hanging stuff, it kind of takes away from the performance of it, like external tanks or bombs. That takes away from the performance. But right now, we're going to fight air to air, and these airplanes are configured for that. And these things are an absolute monster. Now that I'm ready to go, the crew chief's going to go around there and he's going to remove some of the flags, the remove before flight flags. He's going to also close up some panels, and then we'll taxi out to the arming area. And in the arming area is where they get the missiles and the gun armed. Now that missile right there is an AIM-9 Mike. It's a heat-seeking missile. So what it goes after is a heat signature of the airplane, and we also carry an AMRAAM, and the AMRAAM uses a radar signal to guide itself to the enemy aircraft. And these talk to the computers in there. That doesn't have a rocket motor in it. It just has all the computers in there. and we put our airplane in the simulate mode, and when we hit the pickle button to shoot it, it logs whether it was in range and all that, and let us know if it would hit the other aircraft. Now as I get ready to taxi out, as we get clearance to taxi, you'll see the crew chief salute me, and there he's giving me the taxi signal. I check the brakes, and here we go. And he'll salute, I'll salute him. And here's a cool thing. Even in the airlines, we still salute. That's just a tradition that's carried over even into the airline industry. Funny story, the crew chiefs told me when I landed that they had confiscated the camera, and they did. And for the F-16 stuff you see right here, it was cool. But everywhere there was an F-15, as it was up close, they had dubbed over it in Days of Our Lives. So they didn't want those F-15s, because they're a special airplane over there. They didn't want them filmed.
Hey, see you on the ground, babe. Gotta go. Let's go.
My wife constantly tells me I ruin movies for her, guys, but our masks are on and they will stay on the entire sortie until we land. And this is what a gunshot looks like. We all like to shoot missiles, but gunning somebody is what every pilot wants to do in a fighter. Now, after we land from the mission, we head out to the de-arming area where they safe up the airplane to get us back to the chocks. Now we'll head on back into the chocks and get her shut down. Now guys, this was an epic victory over the F-15s. Now, in their defense, they said they beat us way out with their missiles and stuff like that, and they can't show us their tapes because they had special F-15s. However, what we always do is we want to know how the dogfight went. And in the dogfight, we absolutely crushed them. In real life, you want to throw missiles out there as far as you can and kill somebody. And they said that that's what they did, but when they don't show their tapes, I don't know if I necessarily believe them. But anywho's, in the dogfighting world, my wingman and I crushed. You've probably guessed that that's my wingman's airplane that you hear. My airplane's already shut down, and my wingman's is now shutting down. And guys, the crew chiefs always want to know how you did because they take part of your victory. If it weren't for them having these airplanes ready to go, there's nothing we could do. So the crew chief always shares in the victory.
This is like the 44th, as you can say. This is the squadron we flew out of at Kadena. This is the parking lot, and there's the lieutenants. Ta-da!